I want to warmly welcome you to the launch of these books by Mr. Labi. But as you all know, we are in church. Even if we were not in church, you know Mr. Labi will let us pray. So we are in church. So we will start with an opening prayer by Reverend Colonel David Adote Asare, who happens to be the papa of this church. Please, let's put our hands together to welcome him.
Yes, we are in church. We'll give glory to God. We'll honor God by standing up to sing "To God Be the Glory." The choir assist me. I don't have a good voice like yours. And then we pray. To God be the glory. Shall we all please rise? Just the first verse. Just the first verse, and then we pray. To God be the glory, great things He has done. So loving the world that He gave us His Son, who yielded His life an atonement for sin. That opened the life gates that opened for Him. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Let the earth hear His voice. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. Let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father through Jesus the Son, and give Him the glory. Great things He has done. Please be seated. Let us pray. Our God and our Father, we are grateful for another quiet day in our land. You are the source of life and the fountain of all knowledge. We thank you for blessing us with so many gifts and talents which we use to enjoy this life and to give you glory. We thank you for all who have gathered here this afternoon and those we are expecting. Thank you for your grace and mercy upon them. Thank you again for our father, our beloved Kofi Otutu Labi. You've given him the gift of creative writing and to create books. We know it's all from you. This afternoon, bless our gathering, bless these books. May all that we read from these books be a blessing to all others. We are asking for peace and protection as we enjoy this gathering. God, we thank you. Amen.
Thank you, Osofo. Shall we please put our hands together for him? So now that the opening prayer is done, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Nicholas Asante. I am your MC for this grand occasion. And I thank Mr. Labi for choosing me to be the MC. We would move forward with the purpose of gathering. And I would have to call my own sister, Abena Asantua Majite, to come do that for us. So, Abena, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is good to see you all here today at the double book launch of an outstanding author. Now, why do I call him outstanding? I've read quite a number of books. I don't want to say many because I can't count. And very few adopt the style that he has. This author writes about the very simple yet phenomenal things of life. He tells us about people and places. He takes us on a historical journey, showing us sides of people we may not have known. He captures events and details of stories that we may have never heard of. Well, I can say that for myself, or ever been told. And I dare say, some of us would probably never get the chance to know such stories if not for him. Indeed, he tells stories to warm our hearts. I think I would be right in saying he's a millennial at heart and mind. For those of you who really know him, you can vouch 100% that what I'm saying is true. And I would call him an old man, but I do so cautiously because he's tech savvy. You'd wake up in the morning and there's already a post on Facebook. He calls it his blog. We all understand what he means when he says that. So look forward every morning to a post on Facebook and check your WhatsApp because you send one there too. And may I add that behind those grades you see on his head are nuggets for victorious living and pearls of wisdom. Indeed, he has been touching lives for good through his writings. Ladies and gentlemen, I have never seen a busy pensioner as he. Often, he will tell you, I'm going for a meeting here, securities and blah, blah, blah. Then to the law faculty to invigilate this. I'm like, Daddy, please, you need to rest. He said, yes, but there's work to do. I would rest. He is one busy pensioner. Yet, in a span of very few years, he has launched so many books, and he does them in doubles and triples. He doesn't go singles. So he does them under the anointing of the Holy Trinity. So in 2016, he launched the trilogy, 3 books at a go. Pearls of Wisdom, Stories to Warm Your Heart, and Nuggets for Victorious Living. And that was very impressive for a first-timer. Again, in 2017, he launched 2 more books, Wisdom, Faith, and a Song, and they touched us for good. Few months ago, at the Dansuman Emmanuel Presbyterian Church, he launched yet another book. From Subri Anafo to Pepiase and Dansuman. And it was all about Mr. Eugene Ernest Amwa. He's here. Oh, please, please, can you give us a wave? I'm told he's here. Mr. Amwa. He's on his way. We will surely see him before we leave. We would like to see him. Ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I won't say much. I can't say everything. Just go and look. Just check him out on Facebook. And if you have his number, when you see a message popping up, do well to open and read. So I would like to say, and I would like to welcome you all, rather, to the 4th book launch of Mr. Kofi Otutu Edu Labi. Do enjoy the evening and do not leave without grabbing a copy of his book, the new one, and copies of the old ones too. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Thank you, Abna. He's supposed to be a pensioner, but if you don't take care, you try and engage him on tech things, he will make you feel like you are over 100 years and he's 25. So it's always nice to engage somebody like that. And it's fascinating also because I am sure, okay, let me not be too sure, but most of the over 60-year-olds here would have to give their phones or tablets to their children or grandchildren and say, do this for me or do that for me. But some of we younger people would have to actually give our phones or iPads to Mr. Dulabi to actually help us with things. So please, let's put our hands together for him again. He's a fascinating young old man. All right, so we want to continue, but I would want to show you where our washrooms are. If you are on this side, you could easily walk out, move to my right, and then climb up. There are washrooms up there. If you're also on this side, you can just move down here, and there are washrooms just on your right. So if you'd want to use the washrooms, please. Somebody's trying to tell me something. Okay, so on my right are ladies, and then on my left are gentlemen. So please don't confuse it. Thank you very much. We would receive one ministration from one powerful singing group in this church. And so please help me welcome the Victory Voices as they minister to us one powerful song. Thank you very much, Victory Voices. I want to let you know that we will be receiving some refreshment from a very young and dynamic company that has decided that for them, our health is more important. And so they will be giving us some foods that are geared to making you not just satisfied, but also help you grow healthy. So experience our life-changing presentations on health, which show you and your family how to steer away from lifestyle diseases such as cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, Alzheimer's, and heart diseases. Salad Master, we change lives. So Salad Master will be giving us some salads to enjoy as we bring the program to an end. Thank you very much, Salad Master. Up next, we would want to introduce our chairperson for this event. And I would like to call on Sister Eunice Adote to please help us with the introduction of the chairperson.
Our chairman for this great double book launch is Mr. Andrew Kwabna Asamoah. Mr. Andrew Kwabna Asamoah is the founder and executive chairman of ANC Development Company Limited. He is a barrister at law and a former director of the World Health Organization headquarters in Geneva, Switzerland. Upon his return to Ghana in 2002, he conceived and built the first shopping mall in Ghana, known as the ANC Mall. Since then, ANC Development Company Limited has become a fast-growing real estate and construction company, building and managing properties in many parts of the capital city, with its flagship being the ANC Mall. Mr. Asamoah had 30 years of fruitful career with the World Health Organization and rose through the ranks into important positions including Chief of Personnel, Director of Career Development and Global Security Coordinator, Director of Administration and Finance, and Special Advisor to the WHO Director General on Constitutional Matters. Mr. Asamoah has postgraduate qualifications in Public Administration, Public Relations, Human Resources Development, and Journalism. He has written extensively on a wide range of management, administrative, and legal issues. He is a member of the Ghana and Nigeria Bar Associations, the American Society of International Law, the British Institute of Comparative Law, Fellow of the Royal Society of Arts of the United Kingdom, among others too numerous to mention here. Since returning to Ghana, he has served and continues to serve on a number of national and international bodies as well as non-profit organizations. Some of the boards he presently serves on are Chairman, National Labour Commission, Ghana; Président, Board of Trustees, Institut Pasteur, Dakar, Senegal; President, Ghana Association of Former International Civil Servants; Vice Chairman, Catholic Lawyers of Ghana Guild; Council Member of the African University College of Communication, AUCC Pensions Academy; Vice President, Cardinal Texan Fund for Health and Education. Our chairman is the recipient of several international and national awards, including Planters of Seed Award, Ghana Club 100 2005, Officer of the Order of the Volta, Corporate Leadership Award, Capital Finance International, London, UK, and BID International Gold Award for Quality, Geneva, Switzerland, 2014. Business Growth Achievement Award, Ghana's SME and CEO Summit, 2014. He is married with 4 children. Monsieur le Président, merci d'avoir accepté notre invitation et soyez les bienvenus. Papanum, Mamanum, ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome our chairman, Mr. Andrew Kwabna Asamoah.
Good afternoon. Thank you very, very much. I know there are many dignitaries here, and I've already, first and foremost, I have to say I had a very bad cold 2 days ago, so my voice is still not very good. I have to acknowledge the presence of Dr. Akwa, the former governor of the Bank of Ghana. Dr. Akwa, you are welcome. Mrs. A.C. Adu Awuzi, the Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana. Mrs. Matilda Amisata, spouse of the former Vice President. Very Reverend Father Campbell, my father at Christ the King. Dr. A.C. Kaufman, coordinator of the famous National Science and Maths Competition. It is a pleasure indeed to be invited to chair this book launch. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to the launch. The launch is of 2 books, All Things Bright and Beautiful, and the Musings from the Hilltop by Mr. Kofi Otutu Labi, who has metamorphosed himself from a lawyer and a banker to a gifted writer and a raconteur. I first met Kofi about 12 years ago when I was a member of the Pensions Reform Implementation Committee formed by the government to implement the report of the Pension Commission. There were representatives from various bodies, and Kofi was there to represent the governor of the Bank of Ghana. If I'm not mistaken, it was, I think, Doctor. I found Kofi quite unassuming, but whenever he took the floor, you sense that this is a man of knowledge, wisdom, and great intelligence. In his quiet way, he pushes ideas calmly but forcefully. We have since become friends, and our paths have met on many occasions, and whenever he happens to come to the mall where he shops often, he will pass by the office and we have a chat. Now, I was outside the country when I received a call from him asking me to join a panel to provide endorsement to one of the books, All Things Bright and Beautiful. As I had read all his previous books and know his style and content, it took me, amidst my meetings and other schedules, less than 3 days to complete reading the whole manuscript. Like all his books, the meaning, the mention of various events, occasions, and personalities make very, very easy reading. Now, the essence of reading is the issue I want to call attention to. Because of the advent of the internet, WhatsApp, Facebook, people are not reading. But what we forget, that we, Ghanaians and Africans, we do not communicate officially in our language. We have to learn a language before we can learn anything. So whereas the British, the French, the Chinese, if he's learning computer, he's learning the computer with Chinese language, which is French language. But we first have to translate from Chi into English before we can communicate. So it is very, very important that we get our young people and the population at large to read. And this is something which I think is missing now. Everybody is on his distant WhatsApp, sending messages. But what they don't know is that a lot, I was speaking to a teacher, and he told me that they have, when they get an essay and they are looking through, you see somebody put LOL, meaning laughing out aloud, BF, meaning before, and they think that the teacher should know what those words mean. So this is the problem that we are facing. For example, during the 2019 West African Senior School examination, over 50% of the students did not meet the minimum requirements, grade 1 to C6 in English, to qualify for tertiary education. It means that half of the students cannot go to tertiary distance because they did not pass their English, which is a core subject. And then when you look at the list, you see that people failed English than all the other subjects. For example, whereas 21% failed outright in English, only about 16% failed in mathematics. So that these people, but for English, they could have continued. Even for science, they did better. So English is the cornerstone of whatever we do. The Chinese knows his language and he uses his language. But we have to learn a second language. So I believe that it is our duty to ensure that our young people take the reading very, very important. And I'll tell you a personal story. When I was young, in the elementary school, I think I was about 13 or 14. I was quite a good student, an all-rounder, but there's one boy, he's called Amankwa. Amankwa was always getting 9.5, 10 over 10. And you know that English is very subjective. So to get 10 over 10 in English is something. So one day I approached Amankwa and I said, how are you making it? He said, you know, my father brings newspaper every day and I read them and I also go to the library. Unfortunately, both my parents were illiterates, so there were no newspapers in the school. But there was a library in Bantama, this was in Kumasi, and I joined this library. After a year or two, I was challenging Amankwa for the first spot in English. And English has been what has taken me to wherever I have been. I mean, when I went to England, I went to London for the first time. Then as I was walking through the streets, it looks to me I've been before. Baker Street, Piccadilly Circus. These are names I've read when I was reading Sherlock Holmes. So I thought I've been there. This shows the value and the power of the language. So I believe that this is a very important occasion, and we have to find ways to encourage our young people and the adults to read. We have to have reading clubs. We have to have quizzes and things to push people, because as I can say, if you see these young people, some of them have never read a full book in their life, because all the day they are on their WhatsApp, Facebook, etc., etc. So this is a great occasion, and I'm happy that we are all here, and I believe that this is going to be a very successful occasion. More people are coming, so I will not talk too much. And thank you very, very much, and thank you for this wonderful occasion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. Please put your hands together again for Chairman. And I was happy to see him because in December I was emceeing his end of year event at the ANC Mall. He can dance very well. Maybe today is not the day for dancing, but that day he showed that he's a good dancer. Chairman, thank you very much. All right, we would want to continue. The next on my item, I'm sure you all have the program, is that I'm supposed to introduce the dignitaries. The truth also is that all of us here are dignitaries. And Mr. Labi doesn't want me to mention some names and leave some names. So first of all, we want to thank everybody here for coming. Please clap for yourself. We are all dignitaries in our own ways. Mr. Samuel introduced a few, and I'm sure that with time I'll get more names to also introduce. But let me acknowledge Dr. Ni Kwakusowa, the former Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Thank you very much, Daddy. I'm seeing a lot of dignitaries. I'm seeing a lot of people that I only get to see in very high places. So I'm happy. You can see I'm beaming with smiles because there are lots and lots of dignitaries around us today. The next on our agenda is that we're going to receive remarks from the publishers of these double books. And we will take remarks from Step Publishers. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, special guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to stand before you to deliver this address. Step Publishers over the years have published various magazines and books, of which we've had some testimonies and stories about how impactful they have been. On a more lighter note, it's amazing that a proofreader shared with us that he desisted from certain acts like alcoholism, other social vices, and taking God more seriously just by proofreading books written by people like Mr. Labi and others. Working with Mr. Labi has been a great learning experience. Even in our professional delivery, there's always much to learn from him. But amazingly, anytime I sat down to work on these books, especially All Things Bright and Beautiful, I always end up singing, all things bright and beautiful, all creatures great and small, all things wise and wonderful, the Lord God made them all. And it goes on. This hymn is not in the usual hymn where you sing the stanza before the refrain. The refrain comes before the stanza. It's so amazing. I always sing this song and it touches my heart, even working on these books. Publishing has developed over the years into a more dynamic venture. But the focus of publishing has always remained the same, to communicate a message to the intended readers. Hence, we emphasize the attitude of reading, of which I can't say much, apart from what Mr. Dulabi has shared in his book, Musings from the Hilltop. And he says, just join me on this journey. Books help to feel more confident. Books help to travel around the world in the cheapest way. Books develop your personality. Books provide food for thought. Books make you laugh and think. Books draw you towards perfection. Books stimulate creativity. Books bring out writing talent. Books help in communicating. Books clear your vision. Books satisfy your curiosity. Books help you make more choices. Books help you build literary talent. Books do not require any special device to teach. Books increase your attention span. Books are fruitful pastime. Books can be used anytime, anywhere. Books provide entertainment when others fail. Books make you powerful. Books help you know the whys and hows of everything. Books help you to create and spread fun. Books help you travel across time intelligently. Books keep you updated with facts and figures. Books spread love, affection, and knowledge. Books make the best of friends. Books take you to intellectual environment. Books help you feel the world around you. Books entertain your mind. They broaden your horizon. They bring nature to your doorstep. They bring about a personality change. They increase comprehension. They do not require company. Books are stress busters. Books develop a sense of belonging to people around you. Books provide mental and physical relaxation. Books act as a communication tool. Books are intellectually satisfying activity. Books provide spiritual experience. Books provide emotional strength. They build your self-esteem. They help and develop your imagination to soar. Books make you smarter and wiser. Books help you grow. Books take you to a world of dreams. They can change your life and vision. Books help in achieving life goals. Books develop wonderful experience. Books transform lives. Books inspire. Books motivate. Books build nations. It's amazing. I've read 50 things that books do. You may not have noticed. And Labi is saying that just take 5 of them and relate with them. And by so doing, I'm sure you'll get to love books the more. To conclude, I still want to talk about reading and from his book. And he says, let me ask you, when was the last time you read a book? Don't tell me. Answer for yourself. If you have not been reading, and I'm not referring to academic course books, start today. You will increase in knowledge and stature. Walk into any bookshop and get yourself a book to start reading. If you can afford to buy credits for your cell phone, and some have more than one phone, surely you can afford to spend some money on a good book. If it is any comfort to you, I do not, like Warren Buffett, read 500 pages a day, but I read something every day. You can do same. Cultivate the reading habit for your own sake. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Wow. Big man, thank you very much for reminding us of all the good things reading a book can do to us. I was listening to an author who said that people used to view him like a joker because he likes to create jokes whenever he met people. And then he wrote a book. And then when people read the book, they will meet him and ask, are you sure you wrote this book? Because then they started viewing him differently. And so I am happy that we all get to read these books, because as we get to read more, then maybe we can also decide to try writing on our own. Up next, I would want to acknowledge Apostle A.N.Y. Labi, the General Secretary of the Church of Pentecost, and his family members. Please, let's acknowledge him. Thank you very much, Daddy. Like I said, all of us here are dignitaries, and I know some of us, because today is a holiday, may want to spend some time with family before the day ends. But Mr. Labi says he would want to see everybody, even if it is 1 second, before you go home. So if you would have to leave, please just draw his attention. Let him see you, because today is not just a book lunch. I'm sure you can see that it's also a reunion for many of us. A lot of the classmates and colleagues and contemporaries have come together today, and it gladdens his heart to see all of you around. But at least he would want to give you one high five before you go. So please, if you have to leave, let him see you before you go. Thank you very much. We would continue with a statement from the Ghana Association of Writers. And this statement will be given by the president himself. And I'm glad to say that he taught me at the School of Performing Arts. So I'm happy to see him here. Mr. Francis Bomita, please come take the mic and give us your speech. Please put your hands together for my former lecturer.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished invited guests, congregation of the Victory Church of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, ladies and gentlemen, It is my honor to be asked to make a statement on this important occasion of the launch of books by our member, Mr. Kofi Otutu Labi. Mr. Labi is a distinguished member of the Ghana Association of Writers. To have two good books, two good quality books written and launched is no mean achievement. And your presence here testifies to that. I am sure that your presence at this occasion has already made the event successful. GAO is proud of Mr. Otutu Labi and would like to say ayiko to him. I strongly believe that these books will contribute in a large measure to GAO's efforts to reach populations with well-researched and written narratives about ourselves. GAO is also convinced that literature is the testimony of a people's creativity and that it has a determining influence on national conscience and development. This is what Mr. Otutu Labi is noted for since I have known him. He is a proud second prize winner of the Kofi Otutu Creative Nonfiction Award at the 2018 GAO Literary Awards with his book titled Stories to Warm Your Heart. At this point, I want to say that it shouldn't be Mr. Labi alone who should benefit from this great association of ours. So with your permission, I would like to say a few words about the Ghana Association of Writers. The Ghana Association of Writers is the national front of writers in Ghana. Its national secretariat is located at the Pan-African Writers Association House at Roman Ridge, Accra. Some of the activities that we undertake are to organize writing workshops, editing workshops, publishing, copyright workshops for our members. We also have various programs that we undertake, such as GAO Schools Outreach Program, we call GAO SOP, GAO Prisons Outreach Program, GAO Book Festival, which we will be having in September 21, GAO Literary Awards we'll be having in November, and GAO Sunday, which we have on the first Sunday of every month at Powerhouse. For you distinguished invited guests, many of you have stories to tell. I would like to appeal to you that GAO is prepared to support you tell your stories. GAO is represented here by a high-powered delegation. We have the General Secretary of the Association in the person of Mr. Anthony Kofi Obing Afrani. Then we have the national organizer, Mrs. Mariska Araba Taylor. Okay. The public relations advisor is also here, Ni Adokwe Mofat. Then we have, Ni, welcome. We also have the administrator of power, Mr. Ebo Asandonko. We also have staff from the office. We have the staff responsible for administration, Ms. Christina Dompre. We have our accountant, Abigail Donko. And we have other members of GAO who are also here to support Mr. Edu Labi. Some of them are actually also preparing to launch their books next month. So their support for Mr. Labi is to make sure Mr. Labi reciprocates. On behalf of the Ghana Association of Writers, I wish Mr. Edu Labi a continuous successful writing vocation. And I thank all of you for coming to witness this event. On behalf of the association, I would like to wish all of us God's blessings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Bomita. I was going to say that you gave me a certain B+, which if you had made it an A, I would have earned first class in undergrad. But just because of that B+, I ended up with the second upper. But I still thank you. At least you gave me something. All right, so please put your hands together for Mr. Bomita. Up next is a song by the Victory Church Choir. I'm sure if you were here earlier, you heard them. So they are also going to give us some more of what they are made of. Please put your hands together for the choir as they give us a song. It looks like you want to clap for them. So for the non-Presbyterians, we are bombarding you with our hymns. Enjoy them. Thank you very much. Salad Master wants me to remind you that they retain 93% of the natural minerals and vitamins in the food we eat. So please, you want salad, talk to Salad Masters right now. They are just here. They're going to make sure we are well refreshed, not just drinks, but with good salad. All right, we want to continue. Up next is the author's biography. And that means that we're going to hear about Mr. Labi. I'm sure all of us here know him in different ways. We've already heard some, but we're going to hear more. For me, the little I would say is that just about a week ago, tomorrow will be 1 week, Mr. Labi called and said, I will be coming to your office. And then he comes there, and the first thing I say is, oh, this is the small thing that I've started. And right away, he gets into the Mr. Labi that I know and says, this is nothing small. In fact, in this new world, I see it, that's the savvy man talking. You can work in a very small place and still impact the world. And so, for me, he went on to say, at this point of his life, money is important. You know, for young entrepreneurs like me, when we start, we want money. But he says money is important, but where he is, he realizes that impact is more important. And so he tries every day to talk to young people like me who are confused a bit, who have visions and dreams, but still the system is being hard on us small. And his aim is to continue to encourage some of us to keep the dreams alive and not be distracted by the things that are always worrying us. And then the next day, he wrote the thing on Facebook. And he sent me a message that the discussion we had yesterday inspired my message today. That is the man I know, that he always wants to encourage you, and he always wants to make sure that the world also gets encouraged, not just one person. And as we sit here today, we are enjoying today's occasion, but he says, no, not just you. I want the world to know about it. So as you can see, we're already streaming live on YouTube. That's Mr. Labi for you. A very savvy, tech-savvy man who always wants it to show. And I would want to call on Abner Labi to officially come read his biography. Let's put hands together for Abner.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, guest of honor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is my singular privilege to introduce the author whose 2 books, the latest of 8 he has written so far, are about to be launched. Kofi Otutu Labi was born at Akwetia on Good Friday, the 23rd of March 1951. He started Class 1 at the Kumasi Asafo Zion School in 1957, the year of Ghana's independence. His elementary schooling continued at Asante Asokore Methodist School, Ebru Presbyterian School, and finally the PTC Demonstration School, Ikropong. He continued his education at Oforipinyin, Achimota School, University of Ghana, and the University of Bradford School of Management. He has also studied at Georgetown University Law Center, the International Law Institute, Washington, D.C., the Cranfield School of Management, and London Business School. He was the champion of champions of the popular What Do You Know quiz competition for a period of 3 years while a student at the Faculty of Law of the University of Ghana. He started his banking career at the then SSB Bank, now Societe Generale Ghana, as a pioneering staff in 1976 and was the founding head of the legal department before rising to the position of general manager. His colorful professional career includes serving as advisor under 2 governors of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Paul A. Akwa, who is here, and Mr. Kwesi Emisa Arthur. It's a good place to put your hands together for Dr. Paul Akwa. He's the unofficial old boy of Wesley Girls High School. You might wonder what that means, but I encourage you to read his books to discover how he got that title. A little hint, though, is that his wife and 4 daughters all went to Gehe. After his retirement, he started blogging on Facebook, and that started his amazing journey as the author of 8 enjoyable, educative, and thought-provoking books, 5 of which have been approved as supplementary readers by the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment. Who could have known that a lawyer, banker, and pensioner would turn into such a prolific writer? The foundation of one's life is important, and our author has God as his. A deep faith in God has shaped Kofi Otutu Edulabi's life, and he continues to hold firm to the fact that Christianity is a way of life. He believes in building pleasant memories. The Dansuman Emmanuel congregation, where he fellowshipped for over 32 years and became senior presbyter, will forever hold a special place in his heart. But of course, he is now a proud Victorian. There are a few things he has not been able to do yet, but which are on his wish list, such as go fishing with a Choco fisherman, ride a bicycle, and visit Australia. His books reveal the inner workings and thoughts of his character and life. The author is one who never ceases to count his blessings. Remember how far the Lord has brought you, he keeps telling all who will listen. In June 2010, he was invited to Buckingham Palace, where he met Queen Elizabeth, her husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, and some other members of the British royal family, and had very interesting conversations about Ghana with them. This is certainly an experience he will never forget till his dying day. He never ceases to drive home the point that he is proud of the Equapim Ridge and is convinced that it is the most beautiful corner of planet Earth. He loves singing, and tears sometimes flow as he does. And like every true Equapim, he loves his Mekwang and Nyoma or Nyokubi. His wife, Mrs. Eleonore Edulabi, 5 children and 3 grandchildren, as well as nephews and nieces and sons-in-law, are extremely proud of him and grateful to God for such a gift. Mr. Chairman, guest of honor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my father, my author, our author, Mr. Kofi Otutu Edulabi.
Thank you very much, Lady Pastor Abena Chirbi Edulabi of Lighthouse Chapel, the Kodesh. She went to study in the United States for both her undergraduate and postgraduate, and came back as a pastor of the Lighthouse Chapel. But once a Presbyterian, always a Presbyterian, so she's still a Presbyterian. Mr. Chairman, guest of honor, clergy, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is by the grace of God that we are here for this double book launch. God is certainly working his purpose out. I am elated. I feel greatly honored to see so many of you here to join me to invoke the blessings of God on my 7th and 8th books and to release them to Ghana and to the world. I'm particularly very happy that my boss, Dr. Paul A. Akwa, is here with us. Let's give him a hand. I have written about Dr. Paul Akwa in my books. In fact, in these 2 latest books, there's something about him, and there's a photograph of him and I when I went to visit him in his house. So, he's a great man. And you go to a meeting with him, when you go to a meeting with him, you better go prepared. He does not tolerate fools. Mr. Chairman, writing a book, to borrow the words of George Orwell, is a horrible, exhausting struggle like a long bout of some painful illness. The emotional, mental, and physical demands can be most draining. But oh, how pleasant the conqueror's song when the finished product is ready. That feeling when a total stranger approaches you at a shopping mall or at some other public place and tells you that he or she has read one or two of your books truly compensates for all the toil and the travail. The kindest cut, if I should put it that way, was when Faith Montessori School, one of the finest schools in Ghana, informed me that the school is using Stories to Warm Your Heart as a set book for Form 2 for their external examinations. This is in addition to stocking the school library with generous copies of all my books. I'm also very grateful to Ghana Christian International High School. I'm told that excerpts from my books are read to students at morning assembly. My reason for writing these two books that we are just about to launch are no different from my inspiration for the 6 that have preceded them, though the issues discussed are looked at from slightly different variants. Mr. Chairman, All Things Bright and Beautiful is meant to remind us that life is full of choices and that you can abandon the blame game, the accusations and excuses, and begin to live life to the full. Once you make that decision, you begin to see that every situation provides a learning opportunity. Life indeed can be fun, wholesome, and enjoyable if you make a conscious effort to look at the bright side of things and to savor the joys of nature and of life. Musings from the Hilltop, the second book to be launched, is exactly what the title depicts. In fact, I found myself giggling when Ambassador Esther Jifa Ofori, Ghana's ambassador to Equatorial Guinea, and one of the reviewers for the book, stated among other things that Musings from the Hilltop gives her a mental imagery of the writer, that is me, sitting on my balcony at a brew, overlooking the hills with my piercing eyes and narrating how life's experiences have impacted me. Musings from the Hilltop shares thoughts on how to cope and to respond to the obstacles that are sure to come one's way in life's journey. The reader is taken on a walk through some basic life principles like forgiveness, friendship, dieting, and general points to ponder, which I deem critical for living a purposeful and meaningful life. And I use the medium of this book to showcase the benefits of reading and thoughts I've shared at various gatherings which have been very well received. Mr. Chairman, I'm through my writings embarking on a deliberate and intentional crusade using the tool of storytelling to get our young people, as well as our not so young people, to become responsible citizens of Ghana, making positive contributions to family and to society. Where I have dealt with the lives of some of our heroes, both living and deceased, I have done so with the conviction that the sheer thrill of meeting them in these pages will inspire my readers to abandon a life of misery and despair and aspire to better things. In both direct and indirect ways, I drum home the power of gratitude through my writings. And as John Milton, the author of Paradise Lost, put it so beautifully, gratitude bestows reverence, allowing us to encounter everyday epiphanies, those transcendent moments of awe that change forever the way we experience life and the world. At this juncture, I want to acknowledge those who have contributed towards making these books a reality. My wife Eleonai has always been there for me. My children have also been cheering all along, and this goes to my sons-in-law too. Thank you all so much. I'm also very grateful to the distinguished panel who sacrificed their time and comfort to read the manuscripts and to offer their comments. The association with the books has enriched the output tremendously. For All Things Bright and Beautiful, I want to acknowledge Reverend Father Andrew Campbell, who is here of us, who provided a gracious foreword. Thank you, Father Neil Ante Campbell. By the way, Father Campbell's story is in chapter 1 of All Things Bright and Beautiful, and you have to go and read that book. When I interviewed him for this book, I didn't tell him I was going to write a book. I want to take him by surprise. I had to control myself from breaking down, just listening to his story. Amazing, truly amazing. Mr. Andrew Kwabena Asamoah, founder and executive chairman of ANC Development Company, and chairman for this occasion, also wrote a review. The other reviews came from Kwame Osawasare. Kwame, are you here? Kwame Osawasare went to Phillips Academy, Exeter, one of the topmost schools in America, where Bill Gates and, how do you call it, the Facebook man went. And he went to Harvard, got a good job on Wall Street, but left all that to return to his roots in Ghana. And he's taken Secondary Takrady by storm of his entrepreneurial achievements so far. Professor Patrick Asamoah Sachi of the Department of Earth Sciences of the University of Ghana and a member of this congregation also wrote a review. My dear friend and classmate Elizabeth Otubia Edu, daughter of the famous A.L. Edu of Ghana, former Deputy General Counsel of the World Bank. Otubia, you are here. Can we see you also wrote a good review? Then Professor Victor Essien, another friend and classmate, rector of Nyasapo College, a retired professor of law, Fordham University School of Law, New York, did one. Martin Eson Benjamin, CEO of the Millennium Development Authority Ghana. Martin, are you here? Professor Dorothy Yabuamenu, she's here, of the Noguchi Memorial Institute of Medical Research, University of Ghana, did another one. Then Mrs. Ohui Agbanyaga Aloti, editor, writer, and avid reader. And last but not the least, Mr. Wilson Kortitei, Mr. Tai is here, renowned insurer, former managing director of Provident Insurance Company, president of the Ghana Insurance, former president of Ghana Insurance Association, and our chairman of the Insurance Awareness Coordinators Group, Ghana. For musings from the hilltop, I was privileged to have an equally brilliant panel. The deputy chairperson of the African Union Commission, my classmate and my friend, Ambassador Kwesi Korti, wrote a foreword. He would have wished to be here, but family duty has taken him to the United States of America right now. But I've told him that I'm going to acknowledge him. He's probably watching this. Kwesi Korti, Opore, as we call him, congratulations, maximum respect. The reviewers, other reviewers were Yaoni Lante Oforeji of Morgan Stanley, London, Reverend Gideon Puplampu of the Ramsey Training Center, Abetifi, Her Excellency Estajifa Ofori, Ghana's ambassador to Equatorial Guinea, with concurrent accreditation to Cameroon and Gabon, Mr. Kweku Diodukumi, trustee Masafua Diodukumi Foundation for Needy Asthmatic Children, Emeritus Professor Albert Fiajo. He is engaged somewhere, but he's promised to come before we close. Formerly Dean of the Faculty of Law, University of the West Indies, and Chairman of the Constitution Review Commission of Ghana, and my teacher at the University of Ghana. Professor Teresa Mana Blankson, Mizar College, Pennsylvania, USA. Alexina Arthur, retired senior lecturer, Department of Modern Languages, University of Ghana. And last but not the least, Prince Asare, legal practitioner, executive chairman, Dynamite Group of Company, and a member of this congregation. But before I sit down, I have an announcement to make. This time around, partial proceeds from the auction of these two new books will go to the Lepers Aid Committee, in addition to the other charitable causes I've been supporting in the past. Let me add quickly that Reverend Father Campbell has not made any such request to me. In fact, he doesn't know about this. He's hearing of this for the first time. He must be surprised indeed. But having heard the story, I believe that if we support this auction and we're able to meet the expenses relating to the publishing and the printing, we'll have enough money to support the Lepers Aid Committee and the other charitable causes that proceeds from my other books have been going to support. As I speak to now, we have students at the University of Ghana, Ashesi, who are benefiting from proceeds from some of my previous books. So, Mr. Chairman, guests of honor, clergy, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very grateful for your presence, your attention, and your support. God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Wow. Always heartwarming listening to you. Please put your hands together for Mr. Labi once again. I'm told you have 3 wishes to ride a bicycle. That one is not that hard, though. So I'm sure maybe Dr. Paul Akwa will sacrifice to buy you a bike. I will sacrifice to teach you how to ride. As for the choco fishing, I think Nana Red Amwa will take that up. They will take you to they will be happy to receive you to go fishing with you. And with the Australia visit, Chairman will take care of that one. All right. Shall we continue? So, Chairman, at this point, I would invite you to introduce our guest of honor. Please put your hands together for Chairman.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's my singular honor and pleasure to introduce Mrs. Elsie Ado Awazi. She's an economic and financial lawyer, appointed to the role of Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana in February 2018. She's the second woman to hold the position in the bank since the last 62 years existence of the bank. The Deputy Governor has worked in various capacities in Ghana and internationally. She worked extensively in private legal practice and helped to design and implement several key financial sector reforms in Ghana. From the year 2002 through 2008, she served as a commissioner of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Before her appointment as Deputy Governor, Mrs. Awazi was senior counsel with the IMF, International Monetary Fund in Washington, D.C. At the IMF, she helped to design financial and economic reforms in several IMF member countries in all regions of the world. She holds a Master's of Law degree with distinction from the Georgetown University Law Center in Washington. Georgetown University is where President Clinton went to do his law. She also holds an MBA degree and a Bachelor of Laws degree from the University of Ghana and a Barrister at Law certificate from the Ghana School of Law. Mrs. Awazi is married with 2 children and loves to motivate women, men, and the youth to strive to reach their God-given potential. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our guest of honor. Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, esteemed clergymen and women, distinguished guests, members of media houses, ladies and gentlemen, invited guests, a very good afternoon, or perhaps good evening to everyone. I am indeed extremely humbled to be here this afternoon among such distinguished personalities for this great occasion. And I am eternally grateful to God Almighty and to Mr. Kofi Otutu, Labi, for doing me this great honor. Mr. Chair, a double book launch is by no means a small feat. The books we are about to launch this evening, Musings from the Hilltop and All Things Bright and Beautiful, are the newest additions to a great collection of publications by Mr. Labi, one of the most prolific writers of our time. He has said previously himself that in response to many questions about how he writes so eloquently, he reminds people that practice makes perfect. He says, if you want to write well, just keep writing, and your writing will get better with time. Mr. Labi has followed his own advice. So far this year alone, he has added 3 new books to his vast collection, 2 of which are to be launched this evening, and 1 that was launched in June this year. at the Dansoman Emmanuel Presbyterian Church to eulogize Mr. Eugene Ernest Amoah on the occasion of his 92nd birthday. If the reviews provided by the few lucky ones who have already had the privilege to read the new books are anything to go by, we can all expect to be amused, thrilled, educated, and inspired at the same time as we read them. Mr. Labi continues in the tradition of using his writings to remind us all to hold on to the values that were once typical of Ghanaian society. Values that set the Ghanaian apart from his brothers and sisters on the continent, as well as in every corner of the world. These values that were once instilled in every Ghanaian home, community, school, and faith community have produced hardworking, patient, respectful, sincere, and honest citizens that have earned this nation great respect. Sadly, some of these values seem lost in much of our society these days. The call to return to these values, therefore, through the lessons that he so eloquently distills in his books, is timely. These values are relevant today as they were in times of old, and we must return to them for our own good as a people. Ladies and gentlemen, long-lasting success of anyone or any group of people or nation is built on a foundation of good values and the application thereof in word and in deed. As the good book reminds us in Proverbs 14, verse 34, righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. We must be grateful to Mr. Labi for continuing to give of himself for the public good. It has been 8 years since his retirement from the formal public service in Ghana. Having retired from the Bank of Ghana after rising through the ranks to become an advisor to the then Governor Paul Akwa, and later on to become advisor to the late Governor Emisa Arthur of blessed memory. In that role of advisor in which he served before his retirement, I myself, then working as a consultant to the Bank of Ghana, was privileged to have co-labored with him in the development of Ghana's Central Securities Depository, which has today become a key pillar at that of our financial system. And I must say that I'm also very grateful to Dr. Paul Akwa as governor of the day, who welcomed me to support this process. In the process of working with Mr. Labi, I personally learned a thing or two about hard work, dedication to public service, and perseverance. Thank you, Mr. Labi. His retirement from public service has not been an end to his service to the public. 8 books have been published in 8 years, in addition to daily writings that I receive that reach the remotest parts of the world, thanks to social media. There are occasional formal speeches he renders all around, all of these challenging us to live our best lives yet, as creations of the Most High God, who made us all in his own image and likeness, for his own glory and for the greater good of all mankind. What Mr. Labi teaches us goes beyond the lessons and values he writes about so persuasively. In his own life, he exemplifies these values. His selfless service to mankind, humility to be teachable through the most mundane of things, as well as the most sophisticated. Some of his writings that he posts daily have dwelt on a mother hen feeding her young chicks. I got that last week, as well as a visit to the Buckingham Palace. So somehow he remains humble enough to be teachable through all of these things. His deep sense of values are driven by his faith in God, in whom are hidden all the treasures of wisdom and knowledge. His pride in his native Ebiro and Ghanaian heritage, and his unrelenting hope in the dignity of the human race are rare but admirable traits which we should all aspire to embrace, and not only embrace but also to preserve and make better for future generations. With his vision, meticulous planning, and tenacity of spirit, he teaches us that there are no limits to what one could achieve at any age. I would like to congratulate Mr. Labi on the successful completion of the 2 books that are to be launched this evening, as well as the ones that have been launched long before now. Mr. Labi, we thank you for showing a good example to us and generations unborn to follow. I was just telling Dr. Nisowa that we're expecting him to write as well. And making the same appeal to Dr. Paulakwa to write. We want to hear what your experiences have been. We want to learn the lessons and the wisdom you have learned. And it behooves you to leave those books capturing your observations, your wisdom and everything for us to follow, so that we can also likewise leave books for younger generations to come. So I hope that you would you would heed my plea. Mr. Labi, we thank you for showing this example. Generations unborn will benefit from this. I wish you more grace, more success, and even greater impact for God and country. May you continue to still bear fruit in old age, and may you be fresh and flourish, as the good Lord promises those who remain rooted in him. I wish you a successful launch, and may God bless us all in our beloved country, Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Awaji. So one of the things I do is that I produce radio jingles, voiceovers for radio. And when Mrs. Awaji started, I told myself, but for the fact that she's so big a woman, I would have brought her into my studio to record jingles for radio, because you have a very sweet voice. Yeah. From your speech, you said something that I quickly wrote down. You said his retirement from public service was not the end of his service to the public. Wow. I think that's worth repeating. So your retirement from public service hasn't been the end of your service to the public. Thank you very much, Mr. Labi, for your good service to the public. We want to continue to the review of the books, but I want to remind you that Salad Master helps you and your family to look better, feel better, and by God's grace, live longer. So, I'm just trying to let you know that you can't live here without contacting Salad Master. The book reviews are to be done by 3 people. And we're going to start with a review by a professor from the Noguchi Memorial Institute of Medical Research, University of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Professor Dorothy Yeboah Menu for the first review. Oh, you want to clap before she gets here?
Thank you, Mr. MC. Mr. Chairman, Madam Guest of Honor, clergy, the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I think we are in the auditorium of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, so it's right for me to greet you. Peace be unto you all. I'm very thankful to Mr. Labi, an old Opashian, and therefore Penin for that matter. I'm also an Opashian. And feel greatly honored to be asked to read the foreword and an endorsement written by very distinguished personalities, both in our midst. So I will start with the foreword for the book, All Things Bright and Beautiful. All Things Bright and Beautiful. Foreword by Reverend Father Andrew Campbell. All Things Bright and Beautiful is a gem of a book that every library must have. I was quite surprised to start reading and find myself the first subject. It was a pleasant surprise. When Kofi Otutu Labi was interviewing me, I never expected it to end up in his book. I really appreciate the honor. The author inspires you to do and to be all that God has made you to be through the stories he shares in the book. He shares stories of great Ghanaians like the Nobel laureate Kofi Annan, Professors F.K.A. Alote and J.H. Nketia, both of whom have sadly passed away. He has tagged these as some of the greatest Ghanaians who have ever lived. He also shares about the late Dr. Esther Oklu and Dr. Letitia Obin. He goes on to share stories of Dr. Emmanuel Evans Elfum, Her Ladyship Georgina Theodora Wood, Judge Kweku Abuaje, Mr. S.T. Ampofo, Professor Abladi Glover, Dr. Isaac Kweku Minta, and Mrs. Mary Opoku Ajimang, among others. They are all from different backgrounds and different professions. Yet, one thing that runs through is that they emptied themselves for Ghana. The author also delights readers with stories of his school days and encounters he has had with various individuals. The songs and excerpts of talks he shares make the book a must-have for everyone because of how spirit-filled the contents are. The call to empty oneself in the service of others is very important, as it has been said variously that the cemetery is the richest place in the world. I encourage everyone to begin to fulfill the thoughts, plans, and desires God has laid on their hearts. If you have a book to write, a business to set up, some people to help, or an idea, start today. Don't wait. Make it your intention to die empty. Do not enrich the cemetery at your death, but live in such a way as to influence as many lives as possible by your life on earth. Let us make Ghana and the world a better place to live in by our actions. Congrats to the author for sharing with us great nuggets from life. I pray everyone who reads this book heeds the call to die empty. God bless you. By Reverend Father Andrew Campbell, SVD, Parish Priest, Christ the King Parish, Accra. Endorsement by our own chairman, Mr. Andrew Asamoah. Kofi Labi has established himself as a gifted raconteur, giving perspective, ambience, and insight into a potpourri of events, occasions, and personalities. All Things Bright and Beautiful is educative, exhilarating, and interesting. As its title depicts, the events recounted put a smile on your face and help you to remember pleasant memories of your own. The nuggets of wisdom intertwined with poems and scriptures gleaned from this and the other books of the inspiring writer is a must read. Andrew Kwabena Asamoah, lawyer, former director and special advisor, WHO Geneva, and executive chairman, ANC Development Company Limited. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Our next review is by Mr. Elvis Mensah, the choir president of Victory Church Choir.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman, Madam Special Guest of Honor, the clergy, and all other protocols observed. I deem it a privilege being given this mandate today as the president of the choir to read a review by my patron, Mr. Kofi Otutu Labi. Papa, I salute you. I'm so grateful. Now, my review would be on 2 sessions, all from All Things Bright and Beautiful. So, All Things Bright and Beautiful, as reviewed by Wilson Korte Tai, President of Ghana Insurance Association from the year 1999 to 2005, CEO, Provident Life Assurance Company Limited, 2007 to 2013, and currently Chairman for the Insurance Awareness Coordinators. And I read, this is a biography. This is a celebration of nature and an appreciation of achievers. In sum, this book is a literary painting of God's world as it is and how it ought to be. If you do not have time, please do not start reading it, because you cannot stop reading until the last word. The book takes us on the journey of life as lived by persons who pursued the goodness of nature. It is replete with lessons that echo the resounding message of let your light shine. The narratives give the rare opportunity to peep into the life stories of various eminent personalities and take lessons to direct and enrich our own. We learn further not to despise humble beginnings and for leadership to be impactful and cross-generational. At a time when mankind is adrift, this book comes to make us pause and reflect on our lives, knowing that God is good. Tree appronting. It teaches us that if you build your mansion in a slum, your address, notwithstanding, is a slum. This is a must read. Wilson Korte Tai, President of Ghana Insurance Association, CEO, Provident Life Assurance Company Limited, and Chairman, Insurance Awareness Coordinator, we are grateful for your review. Now go to my second review straight away. And this is from Professor Patrick Asamoah Sechi, Department of Earth Science, College of Basic Applied Sciences, University of Ghana. All Things Bright and Beautiful isn't just another storybook. It is a collection of real life stories full of rich and amazing experiences gathered over several years and shared to enrich young and creative minds and to help guide one to live a happy and fulfilled life. The book really resonates with me and offers a new perspective about life and humanity. It is inspiring, life transforming, and will impact positively on readers of all classes and ages. It is worth reading, and I would highly recommend it to everyone who strives to achieve greatness, especially for the young and promising. Professor Patrick Asamoah Sechi, Department of Earth Science, College of Basic Applied Sciences, University of Ghana. We are grateful for your review. Thank you.
Thank you, Choir President. Thank you. From Subrianafo to Pepiase and Dansoman is a book about a 92-year-old father whose story is the core of that book. The man himself is here, and so we want to acknowledge him. Mr. Eugene Ernest Amoa, Mipacho Mayehu. Thank you, Daddy. Thank you. When we finish, I'll ask how you got here, because you're 92 and still going. I'm sure you have like 30 years more. Good to see you. Thank you very much. We'll take our next review. This one is coming from an engineer. He's an author himself and also a publisher. I'm sure most of us have heard his name, especially if you listen to City FM a lot. Nana Aredamoa, please grace us with your own review. Please put your hands together for him.
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Chairman, I think I have the singular honor of being the only one who has read at all the 3 book launches. So I'm now put on alert that when Daddy, as I call him, writes a book and is about to launch, I just need to prepare because I'm going to read. Before I read, I'm going to read the excerpts or the reviews on Musings from the Hilltop. But when I read the title, I actually thought the hilltop was hilltops, because I could imagine Daddy sitting not on only one hilltop, but various hilltops in the Krapim Ridge because of his various experiences and the books that he voraciously consumes. So I'm really honored to be here. I read the first one from Ambassador Kwesi Korte, who is the Deputy Chairperson, Africa Union Commission in Addis Ababa. Beppo Suhan is an old Akan saying in Ghana depicting the sacred and intellectual muse that resides at the mountaintop and descends gently and gradually, shedding light and wisdom on us below. Significantly, it is the motto of the Ebri Girls Secondary School on the Krapim Ridge, famously known as Ebri Girls. The Krapim Ridge seems to be the very cradle of this notional symbol of wisdom and learning that we in Ghana and even in the then Gold Coast have come to associate with the indigenes of Krapim. The area has produced more than its fair share of rare talent, be it intellectual, cultural, musical, and above all, spiritual. Recall, if you will, the works of Kofi, the ultimate tree lexicographer, Oku Ampofo in traditional science of herbal medicine, Ekufu Ado, CJ, in mathematics, philosophy, and jurisprudence, Alex Edum Kwapon in classical scholarship, share wit and wisdom. The list is practically endless. My good friend and brother Kofi Otutu Labi, also from the Ridge, Ebru to be precise, is following in this distinguished tradition. Kofi and I are classmates. Our paths crossed in Achimota in the lower sixth form, where we were both introduced to the arcane pleasures of literature in English, history, and I would say leadership, Achimota style. We were both assigned duties in the Achimota School Dining Hall, which was without doubt practical leadership. It involved managing discipline in the dining hall and preparing the sitting arrangement for each term for 800 plus students 3 times a day, and changing the sitting arrangement every term. In a co-educational boarding school, this was a matter not to be trifled with, since all kinds of things happen in the dining hall. Who you get to sit at table with can lead to fortune or despair. We were both in the Faculty of Law, where our relationship blossomed further. We both did vacation employment at the Attorney General's Department, where Kofi was attached to an interesting British legislative draftsman, Tim Garrard, who wrote on Ashanti gold weights. Upon graduation, Kofi decided to enter the banking world, joining Social Security Bank, now Societe Generale, and rising from legal officer to general manager. He eventually ended up as a central banker with a position of advisor in the office of the governor of the Bank of Ghana. An illustrious career indeed. Who would have anticipated then what Kofi would become upon retirement? A writer of extraordinary virtuosity and style. In all these years, born-again Christian that he always was, the Holy Spirit led him through various vicissitudes, finally coming into his own as a marvelous and inspired writer. 5 books have already emerged from Kofi's richly gravid mind and his mighty pen. Musings from the Hilltop is only the latest. Kofi writes eloquently on all subjects, both worldly and spiritual. But the point, it seems, has always been to share his rich and varied experience in life and to provide lessons in patriotism and moral philosophy. Our younger generation will profit from reading these reflections and reminiscences. Equally, he writes vividly on Ghanaian heroes such as Pa Willie, Ephraim Amu, and many others who have lived great lives worthy of emulation. By writing on them, Kofi has honored them with literary immortality. It is therefore my privilege to have been chosen by Kofi to write this foreword. And I do so in the recognition that it is probably more than a simple act of friendship. I feel particularly privileged to be able to recommend this wonderful work to all prospective readers. Thank you, Kofi, for your confidence. You have truly lived up to your middle name, Otutu. I am fortunate to be able to call you my classmate, comrade, and friend. A good book is a precious lifeblood of the master spirit. Let our younger generation read, cogitate, and be inspired by Otutu, clearly a man of many parts. This was written by Ambassador Kwesi Korte, Deputy Chairperson, African Union Commission. I go on to the next one, written by Albert K. Fiajo, who is a fellow of the Ghana Academy of Arts and Sciences, Emeritus Professor of Public Law, formerly the Dean of the Faculty of Law, University of West Indies, and also Chairman of the Constitutional Review Commission. Kofi Otutu Labi continues to enrich the literature landscape of Ghana with his inimitable and felicitous writing style. His books are simple, easy to read, and his messages direct and piercing. So it is no wonder that Musings from the Hilltop follows that style of simplicity, lucidity, and clarity of message. His inspirational pieces resonate well with many, far beyond the shores of Ghana. The secret behind this overreaching ability of his books lies in the simplicity of his writing style and the fact that his stories depict everyday issues of living. He tells us about inspirational personalities that could motivate and bring about change in our own circumstances. In the tapestry that he weaves, we are left in no doubt how everyday events and experiences around us and inspirational individuals, ordinary from the beginning, but have left behind extraordinary feats, can touch our lives. The writer is invited to pick, choose, and learn lessons appropriate to their circumstances. We thank him for conveying his thoughts in such a straightforward manner and daring us to emulate the teachings of those he writes about. In a fast developing nation like ours, well endowed by our Creator with so many natural and human resources, and yet beset with so many challenges, from false religions to poor governance, and where many are grouping in the dark for much needed relief and urgent solutions, Kofi Otutu Labi's book offers refreshing insights into the multiple and varied ways available to us in which we can restore confidence in ourselves and in our future as a proud and confident people. This he does by showing us a multiplicity of ways in which we can reset the nation's moral compass. So, the book is an amalgam of many thoughts, ideas, and the lives of some famous Ghanaian personalities such as Pa Willie and his enduring legacy. The book also covers topics such as creating your own future, friendship, forgiveness, home truths, developing safe and sound eating habits, joy stealers, and more. Kofi also throws in some of his personal experiences and illustrates how these have shaped his life to become a better person to himself, his family, and his society. The Effective Living series, which was aired on City FM's Breakfast Show, is reproduced in full, as well as his life-altering experience with the Central Securities Depository, a landmark in Ghana's financial sector, to mention just a few. The golden web that runs through the book is, as the old adage that we have learned from our early days as children, values, standards, and attitudes are the right building blocks and the right foundations for the future. It is full of wise sayings, admonitions, and pertinent lessons for a clean and decent lifestyle in a holistic way and fashion. The book is light reading and can be easily digested in bits, since all the chapters are self-contained. It is also a teaching tool in civics, a subject which has been missing from the school curriculum in any meaningful way. Because of its easy-flowing style, musings from the hilltop should appeal to the broader spectrum of the Ghanaian society. It is my legitimate expectation that the same large measure of acclaim that has attended Mr. Kofi Otutu Labi's previous books will also be accorded Musings from the Hilltop. I warmly commend the book to the widest readership, by Alfred K. Fiajo, Emeritus Professor of Public Law. The final one is by Her Excellency Esther Jifa Ofori, Ambassador to the Republic of Ghana to Equatorial Guinea, and accredited to the Republics of Cameroon and Gabon. Musings from the Hilltop gives me a mental imagery of the writer sitting on his balcony, overlooking the hills with his piercing eyes, and how his life experiences keep flooding his mind. No doubt, the author does not miss any opportunity that will broaden his knowledge. In flawless conversational English, the writer takes you through different chapters of his life, which he freely shares with his readers. This is a book from an author who is widely read and traveled and misses no public lecture or religious encounter. Every advice that makes for a successful and fulfilling living has been covered by the author. His rich spiritual background and beliefs permeate each chapter. Especially of note are his views on forgiveness, education, peace, and joy stealers, which are a must read. Of particular interest to me are his recollections of Mr. William Uforiata and Mr. Komla Agbeli Bedema, who never wrote their autobiographies, but through his interaction with them, one can have a glimpse of these fine gentlemen and their value systems, which are worth emulation. You want to know who first brought cocoa to Ghana? You must read this book. Through the author's interaction with Senator Olusola Adeyeye of Nigeria, we get a clear idea of what can propel the forward march of Africa. And I quote, "The future of Africa can be predicted by the state of its schools and universities. Sadly, much of Africa seems to be marching towards a bleak future unless something drastic was done. To avert this bleakness, a cardinal imperative of all Africa is to invest heavily in the education of her youth." End of quote. This is a must-read book, especially for the younger generation and for the old, to reinforce the times they have lived in. Review written by Her Excellency Esther Jifa Ofori, Ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to Equatorial Guinea, and accredited to the Republics of Cameroon and Gabon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nana Aredamwa. I think we've been sitting for quite a while now. It's like almost 2.5 hours. So I respectfully ask you to be on your feet. Please, respectfully, let's be on our feet. Most of us are older, so we want to exercise our body a little. Mr. Labi talks about exercising in his books, so let's do this exercise. If you are happy and you know, clap your hands. If you are happy and you know, clap your hands. If you are happy and you know, and you really want to show it, if you are happy and you know, give the person by you a high five. And Mr. Adulabi laughed. Yes. So I've achieved my aim. At least I wanted to see you shake a little and smile a little. Okay, please take your seat. Thank you very much. Where we are now, and the reason why I wanted to have a smile on your face before we continued, is the main reason why we are here. And the main reason why we are here is to launch these 2 books. All the speeches and the conversations prior to this have been preparing us for this very moment. And so, with my singular honor, I want to invite Mrs. and Mr. Arthur and Mrs. Awaji to come and help us launch this book. You haven't spoken yet, so yes, we're launching both books. Okay, you can do it. That's between you women, you know.
Thank you very much. Distinguished guests, those of you who know Mr. Edu Labi know that he keeps telling us about how he started reading at an early age, how his parents encouraged them to read. And if you follow his life, you can tell what the reading did for him. Winning the, championship for 3 years, and Those of you older enough can remember that he's at every public lecture. He reads very wide. And in all his books, he talks about different subjects, everything. And in these two books, he gives us ideas. Ideas ranging from politics to religion to everything. Ideas that will help us to become better. And this afternoon, we have the honor this afternoon, we are privileged to declare all things bright and beautiful, muses from the hilltop, duly launched. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, we launch these books. And we pray that each of you will go home with a copy. And with Christmas not far away, you will buy some and give them as gifts. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, our wonderful women. Thank you. So now the books have been duly launched. See, Mama Mini, we know so now say, ya launch champa. Oh, please, I need help here. We have uncovered the books. And so now I want to see a big smile on your face. Because the reason why you came has just been revealed to you. And we want to auction the books so that everyone here would get the opportunity to own one in a very grand style. And so I would want to invite an engineer, a minister of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana at the Red Church. He's a former president of the Joyful Way Incorporated, Reverend Kofi Asamoah, as he comes to do or lead us in the auction. Omumon Semono, also for Jubano Eddie.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman, our special guest of honor, all the clergy here well cladded, and all who are here. Good afternoon again. We've come to the part you love to hate and you hate to love. And it's also the part where so far you have not taken part. You have opportunity to take part in it. Otherwise, it will all be one-sided from here. So I'm actually going to leave this lectern and join you so that we'll be working towards the board here. My job is very simple, but a tough one. We're going to have books to sell. Now, Papa Otutu Labi, Etutu Yang Efiem, Abba Hewie, Ebetutu Yang Kutokum, Ye Yibi Ama, Wafra Haha, Awafra Yenina Bumi say, Neuhoma Hroa, or dear Eguhei, Ubian Febin Kunifi. Ujetima Bonsem Merade. He has put 6 of his books, the first ones, plus the 2 new ones in some packaging here. And so those will be the first we will sell. Remember, he has 6 books and he's added 2 more. So make me an offer for the first set of books where he has generously added 6 of his old books for the 2 new books that he has written and we are launching today. Any offer? Yes, let's remember, I am Osofo. I know you all. Either you fail or I fail you. Yes, let's see my hand. Yes. Where do we start from? Who wants to make a first offer? Yes. The books are here. Well arranged, autographed, beautifully done so that you remember today. Yes. Yes, sir. Chairman is going to speak. 10,000. Chairman has 10,000 on the floor. Give him a hand. 10,000. 10,000. Who's going to be the chairman? Somebody beat the chairman. The chairman should not be the winner. Otherwise, we have to make chairman go up. 10 is at the minimal. Yes. Chairman has 10,000 on the floor. 10,000. 10,000. 10. 10. Or we should be going. No, not yet. 10. 10,000. Yes. 8. All right. So it means that since the bankers are talking, let us start. Chairman takes his first 10. And then, yes, please take this to our special guest of honor. She's offered 8. Yes, let's keep going. Next. Yes, 8,000 on the floor now. 8,000. 8,000. 8,000. We will take your check or we'll take your promissory note. We will visit you in your home if you want us to come. 8 on the floor for the 6 books plus 2. The 2 new books and 6 of the old ones. Yes. We are at 8 now. We are at 8. Any offers? Any offers? I told you I know your names. If you don't fail, I'll fail you. Dr. Paul Akwa is here. Doctor, your younger ones who you trained, they have hit 8. Doctor. 5. Oh, I told you. Yes. Oh, give him a hand. You haven't given anything. He's giving. Please take this to Dr. Paul Akwa. 5. We are going. Dr. Nisoa is here. He has been told to write a book. He has not written one yet. Reading these will make him better at writing. Doctor, I'm looking at you. Doctor Nisoa. Doctor, say something. 3. All right. Doctor is offering 3. Dr. Nisoa has offered 3. Who is coming next? I told you if you don't fail, I'll fail you. Yes. 3. We are 3 now. We are 3. We are coming down. 3. 3. Dr. Kwoti, Mr. Kwoti, I almost promoted you to a doctor. Mr. Kwoti Tay, the big insurer. I've been to your office when I was much younger. Mr. Tay. 2. All right. Mr. Tay, Kwoti Tay, the insurer, sitting directly behind Dr. Akwa, has taken this for 2. All right. We go to the next pack. The next pack has 4 of the books plus the 2 new ones. 4. These books are history books, they are political books, they are science books. It has a variety. In fact, one go school cry out if final kind, but pass when you're new grade. So, yes, we have 4 books plus 2. 4 of the old books and then 2 new ones. 2 new ones. Yes, where are we? We are, yes, please. Mama Kesibe. Elizabeth Edu. 1,000. All right, let's go. 1,000 for Mama Elizabeth. Yes, please. She's sitting behind Osofu. Yes, Mama has also spoken for the ladies. Yes. Next, we have 4 books packaged well, plus 2 new ones. You won't get this anywhere. Well written out, signed, autographed, packaged nicely by the whole. Yes, please. I can't hear what the gentleman is suggesting. 500, 5,000, 1,000. Oh, okay, good. 1,000. Yes, I'll accept. 1,000. There's a nice gentleman sitting behind. Yes, where the gentleman is pointing to. Just take a set to him. Good. Yes, we are at 1,000 now. 1,000. 1,000. I'm a preacher. Yes. Oh, my own director of law school. Mr. Kwesi Prempeh. He has his hand there. Yes, send a set to him. Over Kwesi, how much are you offering us? 1,000. Thank you. 1,000. 1,000. The lawyers are speaking. 1,000. 1,000. Yes, there's a hand there. Oh, yes, Mr. Ewul. Mr. Ewul. Yes. What is the offer you are giving us, Mr. Ewul? Mr. Ewul is a crafter of homes, special homes, Buena Vista. And so he has crafted something for us to. How much is he offering? 2,000. Okay. Mr. Ewul has raised it to 2,000. Victory Presbyterian Church has offered a big sum of 2,000 Ghana cedis. Please give them a hand. My former district minister said, no, I'll present this myself, please. This one. The man trained me well. So that's Victory having taken. Yes, let's go. We have 4 more sets here. Packaged well. Yes, please. 1,000. Yes, please. 1,000. Yes, thank you. 1,000. On we go. 1,000. 1,000. Yes, let's go. Our friends from Ghana Association of Writers. We haven't heard of you. We haven't heard you. You are not. And you see. Next month or so, you are also launching. So you have to sow, as they say, you have to sow into the life of Papa Otutu, Labi, and then yours too will come on. Yes, I know some of you. I will mention your names. I know doctors who are here. Dr. Kwako is here. Dr. Badu is here. Mrs. Badu is here. They are all on my list. Please. Mama Otubia, Wabo didn't come. So me who will show you, Mama Otubia. Yes, we are at 1,000. We have just 4 more to go. 4 more to go on this packaging, and then we go to that side. So you have 1,000. Oh, good. 1,000. Let's go. Another. Here we go. Yes, another 1,000 is going. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. We have 2 more to go, and then we can go on to this smaller packaging where it's just the 2 books and a little more stories. Yes, 2 more. Who are coming up for them? Who are? No one? No one. All right. Let's carry on. We have you can buy a single book and you can buy 2 of the books. Double lunch, but you know, we all like blessings double. So please buy double. And let's just. Now, these ones, which have been nicely packaged, when they are 2, if you give me something like 300, I will give you a set. 300. Any people are offering 300 or 500, 300 to 500, so we can give you the 2 books at this launch. Yes, please, the governor. The deputy governor. Thank you very much. There she goes. There are hands up there. Oh, yes. Please take them. Yes, raise your hand and we'll come to you. The ushers will take your details. Okay. Say again. Yes. Yes, sir. We should bring you, yes, a set. There's a lady here. Excellent. No, she wants it. Yes, please. Good. Another one there. I like the response. Yes. Dr. Budu is showing her lady powers. Dr. Mo Nyamishra. Yes. There we go. A set of 4 books. Yes, there's a set here. Please come. Here you go. Good. One more of the 4 plus 2 extras is awaiting. And then we have those who want to buy just the 2 books launched today, and those who also want to buy one. If you want to buy one of the books, yes. Which one? Double. Yes. Please help me. Take a second one. Then don't and yes. Right. There are 2 people there. Give them. We have 2 more here of the doubles. Yes. There are another one. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay, good. Great. I have one set of 4 books plus the new books here, and then I have here. That's the same. Okay. Please come. Here. Take this. Okay. Good. Right. Garface have bought a. Okay. Yes, Garface have honored Papa Otutu Edu Labi and bought some books. No. Yes, we have a few more books to go. A few more books well packaged and put together so you can have something to read at home. Remember, every subject that you want to learn is in this book. If you are writing a check, you may please write it to Mr. Kofi Edu Labi. That is good and safe. Mr. Kofi Edu Labi. That will be very much in order. Yes, so we are almost coming to the end of our launch, of our auction. We have a few more books here, and you can buy one of them or you can buy 2 of them. I'm saying that if you're buying the 2 well packaged, autographed here, then you can be offering us 300 or make an offer. All right, make an offer. Something lower than that we'll accept, and then we'll keep going. Any others who are interested, who must have these books? You must have these books in your homes because it teaches the questions that have been asked. Who first brought cocoa to Ghana? I remember some time last year, there was a big debate on social media. XYZ, and then my own, very good friend, Mrs. Pebby wrote, and then all kinds of books. Let's settle the once and for all. The best brain and the champion of champions. The man, he knows everything. He knows everything. He has settled it. Go into the book, you find the answer. Yes? Who will buy the book? Buy Musings from the Hilltop and buy All Things Bright and Beautiful. Buy All Things Bright and Beautiful. You find the answers in the book. Okay. Now we come to the point where everybody here must go home with a book. You must go home with at least one book. You must, because you need to read. You need to learn. You need to be updated. So there are copies here, and there are copies also well packaged. I will encourage you all, take and then walk through the aisle. Anybody who doesn't have a book, who doesn't have a package in front with them, they deserve to buy a book. The choristers are here. The Ghana Association of Writers are here. Friends who have come to help us are at the back and on the right side here. In fact, who was so from now on to book nubia? Can't you go fear TRC on to book nibi? No, we are taking 100 Ghana cedis minimum for that. 100 Ghana cedis should do. 100 Ghana cedis should be, because the aura around the launch. You came to the launch and you experienced all the singing. You see, the deputy governor herself was here. She spoke to you. She put up some rhymes like, when you left the public service, not stop you from speaking to the public. You see, rhymes like that. You don't get them free. You have to pay for them. Please, on this side, there are many more people on this side who need books. Please go on to my right side. There are people there hungry for books. Yes. So they are waiting for the books as we try and repackage them, sort them out so that you can have your books to read. Your books to read. They are good books and they must be enjoyed. They must. Now, that's not the end of my story. When our mates wrote books, I'm teaching the other schools. I went to Fansfim. And in Fansfim, when we launched, one of our mates launched a book, the old boys present would contribute and buy at least 100 books to take to the school. It is used for speech and prize giving day and also stocked in the library. I've seen schools here. All Achibotans here, please proudly raise your hand. Don't deny your school. I'm here. I'm looking at you. All Achibotans, proudly raise your hand. You see, when any me guas want to me my saso. In France for mom saso, France for mom saso. Mom, ya my saso. Count them. Mom for santo. Papa oba you school and kai says ya to the books ni na. Now call Achimota school. Achimota for mom wa. Achimota for okay. Achimota please. All Achimotans raise your hands. All across. You won't raise your hand. All right. Let's go to the next school. Over repenting for Muwai. Who were you for repenting? Very good. You are the ambassador. You will take 100 books from Papa Otutu. This is for the school. Go and there's a professor here from Ofobreni. All right, where is he? Where's the professor? Professor from Ofobreni, I need you. I love you. Where are you? Pajoy. What was say? Professor oh okay, you Professor Okasa the you read nicely. Please make sure 100 books from Papa Edu Labi gets to the school, it will be used for the speech day. The students who have done well, those are the students who like to read. All right, they get the prizes, and then, all right, next, they said that he said, old, official, did you say official or unofficial? Unofficial old boy of Wesley Girls High School. Girls from Wayne, gay from Wayne. All right, the gays, they are proud. They raise their hands. Yes, they want 100 books, and I'm for the 200 books. Please, 100 books for you. Make sure. Hey, Mama is part of you. Yes, she has agreed. She's wrapping them nicely. I walked your school many weekends. Yes, I have the record of walking in Wesley Girls, the most from Fanson School. Every Saturday I was there, but it's for a good cause. I was a member of Joyful Incorporated, and we had our rehearsals in Wesley Girls High School. So don't think otherwise. I went to sing. All right. From there we go to, what's the other school? Yes, you see, Auntie Matilda was in Infantiman. I know this for a fact. Auntie Matilda, me paucho. Me paucho say, I will say 100 of these books come Infantiman. Now what day your speech day? Ne good library. Now, Pacho, she has promised that she will make sure 100 of the books get to Infantiman. Yeah, that's Papa, Auntie Matilda. Good. And then, yes, there was a school that is mentioned in the book. People also hang. What you say then? What we have? Quiz mistress. Oh, number one. Question one. Will you buy the book or not?
I didn't come here for a quiz.
Quiz mistress. Will you buy the book or not? Yeah, oh, true or false? True or false? True or false?
Oh, sure, true.
Oh, true. Give her a hand. Yes. Me pavucho. Every girl's full better 100 of the books for. Yes. They will buy 100. She will arrange so that every girl's will buy 100 of the books for speech day and for the library. Are we done with all of these? There are a few. These books must be finished before I sit down. University of Ghana. University of Ghana, how are we going to present it to them? And I should ask the quiz mistress. We have a few more and we are done. So please pick. These are doubles that will go for 100. And then I am done. If you take them from me, I go and sit down. I am a very short-winded preacher. So I don't like long messages. And yesterday, the message was about Good Samaritan. A good Samaritan. Be a good Samaritan for your school, for your home, for your church. Have you bought a book? What Bomudin, what to do the victory church choir. Okay. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I have just 10 more sets and I am done. 10 more sets and we are finished. So 10. Please walk through and then give them out to people who need the books and must. Remember, the proceeds from these auction and all of these will, after we have done with all the payments of the obligations, all the liabilities have been settled, they will go partially to Lepers Aid Committee. That's one. Number two, they will go to a scholarship scheme which Presby Church, Emmanuel Congregation, Dansuman run, and in honor of Papa Otutu Labi's mother. To honor his mother, they set up a scholarship scheme. And he told us proudly that some people have finished secondary school. They are at University of Ghana and also Ashesi University. So these are good things. And other charities like that. So it is to help other people. He knows the Good Samaritan story and he lives it. He lives it. So please Support, 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 and let us be able to reach more people with education and ability to read. Ability to read. Let me ask this question. Are there any people from the Bedema family here? Bedema family. Your grandfather's story is in the book. No Bedema. Okay. What about the Oforiatas? The Oforiatas, are they here? Anybody who belongs, and because you know what I'm going to do, don't raise your hand. You are denying your family. They will also deny you when the time is up. All right? They will also deny you when the time is up. But I think that the families of the Foriatas and the families of Bedema and all those people whose names come up in the books, it will be good to have them on your shelves and let your families know. It's a good heritage and it's worth the investment. I think, I said I was a short-winded preacher. I think Mr. Chairman, special guest of honor, our clergy, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I love to take my seat at this time and to say thank you for helping to auction the books and to have copies in your homes and schools and churches to go and read them and to propagate to everybody. Good evening.
Osofo, before you came, everybody was speaking English. And you came and you brought in your typical Akuyapem tree. Na sani awokasa no semenso manka mi kurom kasa bia na akoye semenso jama me de brofo na meka. Nti Osofo yeda wasi yiye. Obia nkese Osofo yeda wasi yiye. Osofo yeda wasi yiye. Please put your hands together for Osofo. We are bringing the program almost to an end, and I'm sure when you look on your program, you would see that there's supposed to be a song by the choir. And so the choir will give us a song, and as the song goes on, there will still be books here. So if you need any of the books, you can be dancing and then come pick one of the books. Or just call any of the ushers and get it. We'll be bringing the program to an end very soon. I want to make this very important announcement. The Ghana Association of Writers has a regulation not to buy books at the launch of members. This is to ensure uniformity for every author. And so because of that, they have a special donation that they give to every author, and they'll be doing same for Mr. Labi. And so if you didn't see or hear them make a donation, it is just in adherence to their regulation, just to be fair to everybody. Thank you very much. I hope you understand. So Mr. Labi, what's the donation, Beba? Okay, choir, mama me 1 minute. Mr. Labi say, yem for program nemre wie preko. Na abra yeri chechi ayen ho na yeri bonkomo kakran no. Na afei matu nwom no na ye de no aye. Nti ye be to aso de abawie preko. And please, Mr. Labi wants me to let you know that at least he wants to see your face. I'm sure the few times he has stood here, he has seen some faces and at least wants to hear you say hi. And so please, before, as the choir is singing, and I'm sure you already know that there will be a lot of people trying to talk to him. Please, in order so that there will be fairness, if you want to talk to Mr. Labi, don't take all the time. At least you do your 1 minute, 2 minutes, so that other people who also would wish to talk to him can also talk to him. And then there will be refreshment by Salad Masters. I'm sure you've heard me talking about Salad Masters from the beginning. The people collecting the money are also from the CBG. And so I want to say thank you very much for your support. We will bring the program to an end by inviting our chairperson to give us his closing remarks. Please, let's put our hands together for Mr. Samoa.
Hello, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's very important, first thanking you for being here, but there will be a vote of thanks, so I leave it to that. But Mrs. Awazi said something which I think we have to take note. Some of us have served our country, we have served outside the country, we have a lot of experiences. Are we going to die with these experiences without giving it to the younger generation? We don't need to write ourselves. You can get somebody and tell your story. If we can't give them anything, because as we see every day, the mistakes we saw yesterday is being done today. But if we have written something to call attention, maybe people will change. So I implore all of you, including myself, that we should write about our experiences. That is the only legacy we can give to the younger generation. I know we are busy, but you don't need to write it yourself. You get a good writer, and people will learn from it. Only I traveled and I came back, and I saw the book that had been written by Mrs. Matilda Atta. And I asked that the book should be bought for me. I want to feel what she has said in the book. And I think Madam, thank you very much for writing this book, and we all learn from it. Thank you. Also, I want to remark that Kofi is not doing this for himself. Apart from his expenses, every penny goes to charity. That's why we are all proud to be behind him and to support him. It is not for him. Last but not the least, I think what I mentioned before about inculcating the habit of reading in our younger generation is very important, particularly at this time when the video games and things and WhatsApp is taking over. I mean, I go to interviews and I always insist that they should write an essay, and you'll be surprised. People from the university, when you see the type of essay they have written. So I believe there are no more libraries, there are no more various forums for speaking, and I think we should try and help to get these things going. In all, I thank all of you, and I'm grateful that we are all here, and we thank God for everything. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samoa. Thank you very, very, very much. Up next is the vote of thanks, and I'll call Gertrude and Seku to help us with that.
Thank you very much. This is the first time somebody from outside my family has pronounced my last name very well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me to deliver the vote of thanks. And before I move on to the assignment, I would like to thank the author for asking me for the third time in a row to deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you very much, Uncle Kofi. So on behalf of the author, I would like to thank the following people. To our chairman, Mr. Andrew Asamoah, thank you very much for accepting to chair the launch. Mrs. Elsie Aduawaji, thank you very much for gracing the occasion as the guest of honor. To Her Excellency, Mrs. Matilda Emisa Arthur, thank you very much. Dr. Paul Akwa, Dr. Nikwa Kusowa, thank you very much. A very big thank you also goes to Ambassador Kwesi Kwate and Reverend Father Andrew Campbell for writing the forewords, and to all the reviewers, thank you very much. Step Publishers, thank you for the cordial relationship and cooperation with the author in the production of the books.
To members of the clergy who are here, thank you very much. To the leadership and members of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana, thank you very much for your support. Again, the author would like to thank the district minister and the entire leadership of the Fafraha district of the Presbyterian Church of Ghana for access to these premises. Thank you very much, Victory Presby. It also goes to Victory Presby Church Choir and the Victory Voices for the music. Thank you very much. The next thank you goes to the management and staff of the following corporate entities: Bank of Ghana, Consolidated Bank Ghana, GB Health Solutions, dealers in Salad Master range of products. Thank you very much for your support in diverse ways. To the media, thank you very much for covering the event. And to friends and family of the author, thank you very much for coming to support. And the last one goes to the launch committee. The last, but also very important, goes to the launch committee for the successful planning of the launch. Thank you very much and have a very good night.
At this juncture, I will invite Father Campbell to bless us, and then we do the closing prayer before we go. Put your hands together for Father Campbell.
Let's bow our heads in prayer. Lord, for the gift of this day, we say thank you. For the gift of the successful book launch by our dear friend and author, Kofi Otutu Labi, we say thank you. Thank you for inspiring him to write these 2 books and all the other books he's written. Not only what he's written, but all the lives he's touched, bringing hope, love, encouragement to so many people's lives that he's met. So as we end this book launch, we ask you to bless us. Send us home safely. Give us a good night's rest, and tomorrow's a new day. Continue to bless each and every one of us. In the name of Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. The Lord be with you. And may Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you very much, Father. Please, we will take a few moments to take a few pictures. We don't want to lose the importance of today, and we want to capture the memories on camera. So please, Mr. Edu would stand here, and then as many as we can, please, let's join him up here for a few pictures. And then the reception has started, so please make sure you get a package from the Salad Masters. Make sure you get a package from the Salad Masters. Make sure you say hi to him before you go. He wants to see you before you go. And it's also a time to share pleasantries with many others. Thank you very much. My name is Nick Asante. Thank you very much for being a wonderful guest. Thank you. So, cameraman, I hope you are ready. Okay, so please, guest of honor, Dr. Paul Akwa, Mrs. Awaji, Mrs. Misata, please, all of you. Doctor, Mr. Dulabi wants you to join him for a picture. So please, Please join him here for a picture opportunity. So Mr. Edu Labi wants you to join him here for a picture opportunity. So please, Mr. Samoa is here, so he would want all of you to join him for a picture. Please, those of you standing here, the cameraman would need some space for the picture. So Mrs. Awaji, Mrs. Samisata, please, all of you are needed. Mr. Tay, Writers Association, the camera is set, cameraman is ready, so yes, so please.